need to ask you a question, right?
I'll just be back.
No, come on. Look, just answer the question. If somebody puts a 1 above the line, is that a valid Senate vote?
No, it's informal.
Why? When you go to count on election night, what's a formal vote? I was recording. I got him on film. Section 325 of the Electoral Act. Officer influencing the vote. Everybody hear that? You're all on film. I'm sorry about the Privacy Act. I'm going on YouTube tonight. Oh, I got kicked out of the Greens last year for campaigning against compulsory preferential voting. Hence, I just want to advise people. Hey? That's what I'm saying. I've extracted the law that says it's only 1 above or 6 below. Here's the other bloke. I'll get him. There's the other AEC bloke. Let's ask him about the law. Excuse me. Hey, mate. That question I had before about a formal vote in the Senate, is a vote 1 above the line a formal vote?
I'm not taking it. You take it.
When you count it, when the scrutineer asks you the question on election night, and he says there's a 1 above the line, what answer will you give him? He's not answering. He's the commission. He's the commission. What is going on? We're voting now, and on election night, when they count the votes, and the scrutineer says, "Excuse me, sir, is a 1 above the line valid?" What question does he answer? He says, yes, the Act says under the scrutiny, Section 369 1B of the Electoral Act, a 1 or 1 or more above the line is valid. He ran away from me. That's still rolling, Phil. It's going on YouTube tonight. By the way, you're the candidate for the LNP. When you scrutineer on election night, and if somebody's voted 1 above the line for the LNP, is that a valid formal vote? Phil. Lucky Phil. Be lucky if you win. Phil. If somebody votes 1 above the line for the LNP on election night, and they scrutineer it, and he says, if the 1 above a formal vote, is that a formal vote, Phil? Jenny? Yeah, thanks, mate. See how I got him? See how I did that? I'm still recording. Phil, is 1 above the line for the LNP a valid vote? Can't answer. A 1 for your own party. Hey Phil, last election Malcolm Turnbull was filmed by the ABC putting a 1 above the line for the Senate. So is a vote 1 above the line a valid vote for the Liberal Party? Or the Labor Party? All right. You're telling people to preference Palmer. Is a 1, 2 and no more than that a valid vote above the Senate, above the line for the Senate? And he's a crook. And you've had to pay out $70 million to him, and he's done a deal over bits of paper. Bits of paper with numbers on them. $70 million they had to pay out to the Queensland nickel workers. And incidentally, because the former Prime Minister, I call him a fascist to his face, Howard, is one of my enemies. Another one of my enemies ended up being his advisor. And they all know me. When the company I used to work for went bust, I was owed $30,000. So I went through the same process of Queensland nickel workers. Anyway, I wasn't allowed to get that money back. I respect to Brian Richardson. It is. It's Brian Richardson, isn't it? Is that Brian Richardson? Retired. Retired? Were you mentioned in the Palm Island inquiry? If you go to my blog, right, my internal police ethical standards command documents, which I used to back up my case, are on the article about Dale Last. Your name's on it, because I had to put out all the documents. And it says prior to Palm Island going off that Dale Last was part of the culture, the investigative culture that led to the death in custody. So anyway, I made a complaint about the police, and when he was a police officer, he had to investigate it. What happened? I went off to the CJC. They said it's only a breach of discipline. So anyway, I sued them, and the civil standard was the same as the criminal standard, and I got them for false imprisonment. So when that thing on Palm Island happened, and he helped investigate it, Inspector Brian Richardson retired, he got slammed. He said, and the documents are on my blog in PDF, my internal police documents, which says confidential only, right? He said Mayor Mooney was given the orders. There's a big red line under it. I underlined it where he said it. Inspector Brian Richardson retired, over there. Heavily criticised for that shit that happened on Palm Island. Inspector Joe Kitching, how did he get promoted to inspector? He was a bloke they sent from the Townsville cop shop to Palm Island on the orders of Mr. Richardson and his mates to investigate Hurley, who killed the bloke. How do you do somebody for killing somebody? You promote them to inspector. You have a look at it and you Google it. Everyone who's under fire in the Queensland Police Service, they give them a bloody medal for something, or they promote them. Yes, love? Yes.
Hello. How are you?
I'm still recording. I want your face on.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, I got the AEC blokes on camera. First they were saying, no, it's not a formal vote, 1 above or 6 below. Right, I rolled the camera, and now he doesn't want to answer the question because there's a crime under section 325 of the Electoral ACT to mislead the voters, to influence the vote by telling them they have to preference people they don't have to preference. Check the law out before you vote, please. Do you know it's 1 above or 6 below?
Sorry?
Do you know it's only 1 above or 6 below if you want?
I'll work it out.
Yeah, ask the AEC and come back out and tell me the answer. Ask him if it's a formal vote, if you can go 1 or more above the line, because on election night, when they count it and there's a 1, he asks the AEC, and the AEC has to answer the scrutiny. It's still rolling too. He ran inside, he wouldn't answer me, because he knows it's a crime now under section 325 of the Act. Yes. What was your name again?
Karen. I just wanted to ask...
Karen, from NQCC?
No,
North Queensland Conservation.
No, from Greens.
Greens.
Yeah, good faces.
Yeah, but I remember you from the protest.
Yeah.
Yes. You were up at Cardwell as well?
No, not Cardinal, just here, locally. But I was going to ask you a question, because you probably know.
Yes. I'll turn this.